The Dowd Report is the document describing the transgressions of baseball player and manager Pete Rose in betting on baseball, which precipitated his agreement to a lifetime suspension from the sport in the United States. The 225-page report was prepared by special counsel to the Commissioner John M. Dowd and was submitted to Commissioner Bart Giamatti in May 1989. The report, published in June of '89, was accompanied by 7 volumes of exhibits, which included bank and telephone records, alleged betting records, expert reports, and transcripts of interviews with Rose and other witnesses. Rose was ultimately placed on baseball's ineligible list in August 1989. The most controversial conclusion of the report, that Rose had bet on baseball games while managing the Cincinnati Reds, was confirmed 15 years later by Rose himself through his autobiography My Prison Without Bars. Dowd later donated the Dowd Report collections to his alma mater, Emory University School of Law, in 2015. Amid reports that he had bet on baseball, Rose was informally questioned in February of '89 by Commissioner of Baseball Peter Ueberroth and National League President Bart Giamatti. Rose vehemently denied the allegations. By this time, MLB owners had elected Giamatti to succeed Ueberroth, and the outgoing commissioner decided to leave the matter to be dealt with by his successor. In the meantime, Sports Illustrated gave the public their first detailed report of the allegations that Rose had placed bets on baseball games on March 21, 1989, in the cover story of the issue dated April 3, 1989. Giamatti assumed office as the 7th Commissioner of Baseball on April 1. 3 days later, lawyer John M. Dowd was retained to investigate the charges against Rose. Dowd interviewed many of Rose's associates, including alleged bookies and bet runners. He delivered a summary of his findings to the commissioner in May. In it, Dowd documented Rose's alleged gambling activities in 1985 and 1986 and compiled a day-by-day account of Rose's alleged betting on baseball games in 1987. The Dowd Report documented alleged bets on 52 Reds games in '87, citing Rose wagered a minimum of $10,000 a day, whereas others allegedly involved in the activities claim that number was actually $2,000 a day. Rose continued to deny all of the accusations against him and refused to appear at a hearing with Giamatti on the matter. He filed a lawsuit in Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas, the Ohio State Trial Court covering Cincinnati, alleging that a commissioner had prejudged the case and could not provide a fair hearing. The Court of Common Pleas issued a temporary restraining order to delay the hearing, but Giamatti sought to remove the case to the Federal United States District Court for the Southern District of Ohio. The Southern District of Ohio granted Giamatti's removal petition. The parties thereafter entered settlement negotiations, as the federal court, whose judges were lifetime appointees and whose jurisdiction included large areas where the Reds were less popular, was seen to be a less favorable forum for Rose than a state court covering only Cincinnati and its immediate environs and whose judges faced election every 6 years. On August 24, 1989, Rose voluntarily accepted a permanent place on baseball's ineligible list. Rose accepted that there was a factual reason for the ban. In return, Major League Baseball agreed to make no formal finding with regard to the gambling allegations. According to baseball's rules, Rose could apply for reinstatement in 1 year, but Bart Giamatti said, "There is absolutely no deal for reinstatement." That is exactly what we did not agree to in terms of a fixed number of years. Rose, with a .412 and .373 record, was replaced as Reds manager by Tommy Helms. Rose began therapy with a psychiatrist for treatment of a gambling addiction. Giamatti died of a heart attack on September 1, 1989, 8 days after announcing Rose's suspension. The Dowd Report says, no evidence was discovered that Rose bet against the Reds, but investigator Dowd stated in a December 2002 interview that he believed Rose probably bet against the Reds while managing them. Those critical of Rose's behavior, including Ohio's own Hall of Fame baseball reporter, Hal McCoy, have observed that the major problem with Rose betting on baseball, particularly the Reds, is that as manager he could control games, make decisions that could enhance his chances of winning his bets, thus jeopardizing the integrity of the game. The Major League Baseball rule that Rose violated prohibits any bet on the game the bettor is involved in, making no distinction between betting for or against one's team. The rule is Rule 21 Misconduct. Betting on ball games. Any player, umpire, or club, or league official, or employee, who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has a duty to perform shall be declared permanently ineligible. In 1992, Rose applied for reinstatement. Faye Vincent, who as deputy commissioner had played a key role in negotiating the agreement banning Rose before becoming commissioner after Giamatti's death, never acted on Rose's application. In September 1998, Rose applied for reinstatement with Vincent's successor Bob Selig, but Selig also never acted on it. In public comments, Selig said he saw no reason to reconsider Rose's punishment. However, in March of 2003, Selig acknowledged that he was considering Rose's application, leading to speculation that Rose's return might be imminent. Ultimately, however, Selig took no action. Representatives for Rose applied in 2015 for reinstatement with Selig's successor, Rob Manfred. However, on December 15, 2015, Manfred rejected the request. Manfred stated that Rose had not been forthcoming about his gambling and that Rose, who by this time was living in Las Vegas, was still betting on baseball. Although Rose was placing legal bets by this time, MLB has long barred players, managers, and coaches from any form of gambling on baseball, legal or otherwise. He also felt that Rose did not have a mature understanding of his wrongful conduct and the damage it had done to the game. For these reasons, Manfred concluded that allowing him back in the game would be an unacceptable risk.